So here we go. This is the review of the old CONKERWOOD Black Ale. I'll start by saying how I fermented it. I'm not sure how much I said at the end of the brew day video, but I put it in my garage and I was going to ferment it just in the garage. No real heater or anything, just like a beginner might. And what I didn't realise, after about 2 or 3 days, we had a really big cold snap. And I should have bought it inside the house and it probably would have been okay, but it got really cold in the garage. So I can't remember what day it was, about the 3rd day, I put a heat belt on it. And it's one of the newer heat belts. In the old days, the heat belts, you could just leave them on all the time and they never got too hot. I've only ever used this new heat belt with a temperature control unit, you know, with a Inkbird or a STC 1000. I didn't realise. I went out a couple of hours later and the temperature was right up in the low 30s. So then I was a little bit worried. I took a reading and I thought it had sort of, it looked like it had stalled out. The krausen had sort of dropped. I was a little bit worried. So I pitched another little packet of Cooper's yeast I had. And in the end, it didn't really go down any further anyway. I finished at about 1017. I think they say on their website it should go to about 14 or below, but mine finished there and I waited, and the Good Beer Week was in the middle. It ended up being in the fermenter for about 3 weeks and it didn't drop. So in the end, I don't think what I did any damage. And a lot of these kit yeasts are pretty robust anyway, and can handle a lot of different temperature variances. So once the ferment was over, I didn't cold crush this one because it had been in the fermenter that long that the yeast would have dropped out. I just put it straight into the keg. I did bottle some. I haven't tried the bottle version yet. And it's been very nice. There's these big, it's not so much, there's roast there, but there's like a, it's nearly a molasses type of thing, like a dark caramel or a burnt caramel. And at the start, there was a touch of this licorice, I'd say. Just a touch. I'm not sure what this black ale, if it's supposed to clone something or it's, you know, their own recipe. I don't know. I don't know much about it. But I've been drinking it. It's not bad at all. I can't pick up any kit things. You know how, you know, the lighter beers, you get a bit of that kit twang, as we call it, extract twang. I'm not picking that up in this. And for beginners, and look, there's lacing there. No problem at all. I didn't put any, as you saw, I didn't put any grains or anything in this. A dry hop may have been nice, just to freshen it up a bit, but saying that, it doesn't need that either. I've loved mixing it. I've been mixing it a bit with my pale ale sometimes, and that's really nice too, the old 50-50s. But as you can see, my kegs are a little bit down in pressure at the moment. That's why we're losing head a bit faster. When I changed regulators and I haven't been able to quite get it to the equilibrium where I was before. And it dropped, all the carbonation in my kegs dropped right off. It's just coming back now. But no, that's quite nice. I've been trying to pick up faults, you know, or find something to have a go at it about, but I can't. It's a different style of beer. Like, you don't really hear black ale very often. So well, it's bigger and darker than a dark ale, and that's sort of probably self-evident by the name. But it's not quite a stout. It could nearly be a porter stout, nearly on the real low end. But I've got no issues with that. Big, dark. There is roast there, but it's not jumping out at you. It's very easy drinking, even though it did finish a bit high. I'd like other people's. These kits have been around for a while now. It's not like they're new kits. It's just that, where I buy my brew gear from usually, they've got the exclusive rights to them now in Australia. So that's why I got access to a few. They sent me a few to try. Now, I have seen a few of my other friends review this. I'll leave links down below for them. New to Homebrew Tom did it a few years ago. Looks about 12 in the video. But and Beer Lover, I'll leave a link for his video down there. He reviewed it too, and he's just a head, and he liked it. And if you're just a head with just a mouth and you like a beer, it must be okay. You won't understand until you see the vid probably. This video's going for longer than I wanted to already. But anyway, it's a good drop. I'll probably do the nut brown ale next. The reason you saw me pour another beer, and you can see the head's a bit low on this and carb's a bit low on this, although it's got the bubbles coming up. The reason I wanted to show this beer, and it's back to my maiden voyage pale ale, the videos that never seem to die. But people were, sort of questioning about how cloudy my Kveik, or however you want to pronounce it, beer was. And I was saying it was from the dry hops. I salvaged some yeast out of that batch and reused it in this batch. This is like a Belgian style American or Australian pale ale, which just means it's virtually one of our pale ales. It's just got a bit of coriander and orange peel in it. And it's very tasty, but you can see this light isn't helping, but it is crystal clear from that same yeast. I didn't dry hop this, so that's obviously what the difference was. There you can see there. And this is very tasty too. And what I've liked to be doing is mixing the dark or black ale with that. And it comes up a bit lighter. And it's got those just tiny little hints of orange and coriander in it. Sort of reminds me of a white rabbit or something like that. But anyway, that's it. As I said, next one we'll do is the nut brown. But yeah, don't be shy if you like dark beers. As I said, it's sort of halfway between a dark ale and a stout. But yeah, don't be shy. You could probably throw a little bit of dry hop in there with it. Maybe, English style hop, I guess, like a Fuggles or a Golding, East Kent Golding or EK Golding or whatever you can find. I just went to order some and they were out of stock on where I was buying my gear from. So, but anyway, we'll get that nut brown ale in as soon as possible. I just wanted to show you the result. People were asking. Cheers.